All right, so January is always, at least since I've been around, it's Abundance Month. And this year, as you've seen up on the wall here, our theme is the door is already open. So if you haven't been here, I'm going to do just a brief recap. If you have been here, just connect all the dots. So week 1 was the door is already open. What blocks your belief? And so I took a survey and I asked everybody, and there was 2 main things that blocked belief. One of them is pretty clear: fear. Fear that we won't have enough, fear that it won't be enough, fear, just fear of all types. And the other one was what I already said, that there is never going to be enough. They kind of go together. So that was a consensus we took. We got to move past that fear, sometimes easier said than done. I said the first step is we must believe that it's possible, whatever it is. Remember, abundance is so many things, an abundance of sunshine in your day, an abundance of love in your relationships, an abundance of money and resources, an abundance of good health. Abundance means so many good things. Whatever we're looking at, we have to start with believing that it's even possible. Because if we don't have even a crack of belief about something being possible, there's no way we can achieve that. So that was step number 1, is to believe that it's possible, and then to keep our mental doors open. So it's easy to look up there and see the doors open, this beautiful white light where it lets you imagine whatever you want. Imagine that this is your mind, your consciousness. We must keep our mental doors wide open. And one of the other main points I made that day was abundance is not as much about getting anything as it is about revealing what's already true. Because this philosophy teaches there's only one life. We say it every week at the end of our service. There's only one life. That life is God's life. Where is that life? Everywhere present. Anything we humans could ever want or need is already here. It's already here. The energy of life is already around us. So it's not as much about getting abundance or getting health or getting a relationship. It's about what we sang today, allowing that to be our truth. That's our work. It's about allowing that to be true. First we have to know it, we have to remember it, we get to visualize this opening. Believing it's true. Then after that, last week was visualize. Use your tool of visualization. The door is already open. Let's use our imagination. I took us through a guided visualization, asking you to imagine what was coming through the door to you or what you were going through the door to. Doesn't matter which way you see it. But asking us to use that power, reminding us that if you were told as a child, quit daydreaming, quit using your imagination, it's time to re-engage it. Because I know a lot of children were told, oh, you're just daydreaming. Oh, the power of that daydream is strong. So get it back in gear. Use that imagination to see. It's a tool. To see how your life might be new or better or bigger or whatever the words might be for you. You have to find your own. I said we need to be aware of something that Reverend Margaret Stortz calls disturbing debris. We have disturbing debris that's hanging out in our minds. So to become aware, what's the disturbing debris and what are the combative ideas? If we're not aware of them, they just keep acting out in our life. So we want to become aware. What might be hanging out? This disturbing debris. What combative ideas might I have? I may say, I am abundant and all the resources of life are mine. And then the next voice I may say, oh, well, but there's never enough. Those are combative ideas, and we do that to ourselves all the time. The trick is to be able to catch ourselves when we do, because they keep us stuck. And then the last big point I made last week was Einstein's quote. We cannot solve a problem at the same level of consciousness that caused it. So what we must do then is expand our consciousness. Too often we try to solve a problem at the same level of consciousness that caused it. It's what I call spinning. We spin in circles trying to fix the stuff of our life. We forget that we could turn to the higher power. We spin around trying to fix all our crud. When really, there's something bigger than us. I like to do this all the time because it reminds me of our teaching symbol over there on the wall. We are down here in the world of effects, and that's what we spin around in. Do we remember to say, there's some power greater than I am, and it is already here. That power is already where I'm at. That's where our work is. Now, we hear a phrase around here that is by Ernest Holmes, and he says, the Spirit can only do for us what it can do through us. So we don't believe that God's doing something to you. I'm taking that job away to do that to you, to test you. It doesn't work that way. I don't believe it. You can believe that if you want to. Or I'm going to give you this good thing because you've been a good boy. That kind of a God is really kind of Santa Claus. We did that already last month. So we don't want to do that kind of God. The idea that there is already a presence, but it must work through us. It must work through our mental doors and our mental acceptance. So today is about letting it flow. Keyword, let. Let. Allow. Find the places where you're going, but. A friend of mine wrote a book called Kicking the Big Butt Syndrome. Play on words was intended. You know, he said, here's the example. On one hand, put yourself in this position, whatever you need to rephrase this for yourself. On one hand, I want a great relationship. On the other hand, all men are jerks. Or women, you know, you put in whatever you want to put in there. But that's what we do. That's the big butt syndrome. I want this, but that's disturbing debris that we need to find. That's the combative ideas that we need to find in order to kick that big butt syndrome. Every time we hear ourselves say, but, we just limited ourselves. So keyword, let. Let it flow. Allow it to flow through us. Spirit can only do for us what Spirit can do through us. That's our work. The great master teacher Jesus said, when you pray, believe that you receive. I don't know of anything more simple. When you pray, believe that you will receive. Simple, direct faith. Believe that you're going to receive. Similar to that is a more current day man. His name is Eric Butterworth. He's a unity minister. He wrote a book called Spiritual Economics. He wrote this book in 1993, more current. He said, faith is your consent. Faith is your consent. That's worth taking home because we've got faith taught by Jesus that believe, when you pray, believe it, because Eric Butterworth says, because that's your consent. See how those two things work together. Faith is my consent. What do I have faith in? What am I consenting to? Do I have faith that everything is going to go wrong, so therefore I'm consenting to everything going wrong? Do I have faith that everything is going to go right, therefore I'm consenting to everything going right? You know, the truth is that it depends on what day I'm asking it. You're going to say, some days I'm unknowingly consenting to things going wrong. We get stuck in that. We're human. But we come and we learn this spiritual philosophy to put things in our tool belt that remind us, oh yeah, let me consent to something better. Let me let something better flow through my life and let me take away my own blocks. Speaking of blocks, I want to tell you about the story of the scrawny cow. I've told this story before, and I love this story because it makes so much sense to me. So this story takes place in a Jewish community a long time ago. It's a little bit of one of those tales. And it's about a man and his wife who have a modest little home, modest means, and they have this one scrawny cow that lives out in their field. And this scrawny cow gives them enough milk for their own, consumption, and also so they can take and sell the milk and make enough money so that they have food. It's their prized possession. It's the only thing they think they have is this scrawny cow. So one day, this guy who's kind of a high up, Baal Shem Tov is his name. Him and his entourage are coming through town. He's being carried, with the finest oxen, and he's being carried in this nice little thing. I don't know what you call that thing. I can picture it though. He's king of sorts. And when they're traveling, these people, they don't travel with anything